Hi guys, thanks for watching Quiet Places with Marshall. Why am I always looking for a quiet place? They're harder to find than you would imagine. This is one of the places I go to recharge. This is Arapahoe Bend right outside Fort Collins, Colorado. This is not exactly a quiet place, but it is a soul-soothing place. A place where I can recharge after 40 hours of playing with high-tech science stuff and then get back to nature on my day off. So let me give you a good look at it, but you'll have to ignore the sound of all the human traffic and airplanes and all that. Gwen works Fridays, I don't, so I'm here alone. But if you tune out the traffic about a half a mile away, it's going to regenerate your soul. Until all leaves fall off and the river turns to ice. But we take what we can get, don't we? Let me show you some other places here. So the Cache-la-Poudre River, as I featured on this channel many times, comes down from the mountains, which is normally where I'm featuring it at. And I'm talking about the mountains way over there. The river cuts through Fort Collins, Colorado, all the way through it, comes down here, and keeps going. Naturally, where there's a river, there's trees. Usually. And where there's trees, there's wonderful fall color. So this is almost late October. I should get that photo right there. It's almost late October and it's 72 degrees and higher. Last time I checked on the motorcycle, it was 72. We have a gentle breeze keeping me cool today. In fact, here it comes. So there's places like this in Kansas. I know, I live there. There's places like this in Nebraska. In fact, most of the so-called flyover states have some places like this. So to say, well, you're lucky you live in Colorado, luck had nothing to do with it. I chose this spot and I moved here. But you're not going to find places like this sitting in your living room chair watching the news. There is a better life, and it means getting out of the house. It means walking. And it's like, well, I have trouble walking. Yeah, I get it. But there are places like this with a parking lot right over there. I mean, it's over the hill. You might be able to see the top of the outhouse right there. If you want a beautiful life, you have to make a beautiful life. It's not going to land in your lap in the easy boy chair. I was avoiding a brand name there. Look, a house. Let us go see this house. I'm using my phone for this. It doesn't overheat like a GoPro. Historic site. No access beyond this point. Well, except for the massive trail going down to the river. So all that over there up against the hills is Fort Collins. There's the parking lot I mentioned. Rewards and risks of life on the river. Over many centuries, the Kashlaputta River has drawn countless people to its banks, seekers and settlers of all types. George Robert Strauss was one such character. He homesteaded nearby, building a cabin in the 1860s. When the Great Flood of 1864 destroyed his first home, Strauss moved downstream and constructed another cabin on higher ground. Floods cause changes, but they're natural and beneficial for the river. Sometimes people are negatively impacted, like in 1904, when the Poudre surged over its banks and left 73-year-old Strauss stranded. The old farmer succumbed from this ordeal. In other words, he died. The Strauss cabin was destroyed by arsonists in 1999. These ruins show where it stood for more than 100 years. Maybe take this moment to share with your kids how there was a cabin here for over 100 years. And how one night of playful fun with some lighters destroyed history. It's up to us as parents to build into our children a reverence for things that are not theirs. So yes, the kids that burned this place down were evil for a night. But we failed as parents if they didn't think that this was exactly the wrong thing to do. Forgive me, I used to be a youth pastor. Not everything has a lesson. But things like that should. So, getting away from this abandoned place, what else is here on Strauss Cabin Road at Arapahoe Bend? Let me show you. So now that I got you all sad about the Strauss cabin burning down, this bridge makes me sad. And the reason why this bridge makes me sad is because we had a family dog, a Scottish Terrier, and he was his own man. He seldom listened or obeyed. You could, we've chased that dog down the highway when he would get out of the house without a leash. Anyway, this little Scotty was my daughter's dog, given to her when the dog was just a puppy by her grandparents. And this dog, well, it came up upon some medical problems, as we all get as we get older. And we took this dog here for his last day. He didn't know it was his last day. We scheduled it, you know. My daughter spent the entire day with Mac, our little Scottish Terrier. And her and I brought him here for a little photo shoot. And I will insert some of those photos. He was a rascal, that little guy. But because of his personality, that's why we miss him so. We got a picture of him, like right here at this post. My daughter threw him a goodbye party, which had probably like 20 some people there. And she got him every different kind of French fry from every fast food place around. And I seem to remember some steak involved. Anyway, she gave him a great last meal before he got put down the next day. So little kids will often ask parents, what does heaven look like? And we all kind of have our own ideas. For me, heaven is very similar to what you see behind me. I want lots of color. I want a breeze that rustles the leaves. Now, a place that we used to go to, which I can't feature on my channel, it's just simply too far away, is Minocqua, Wisconsin. My dad used to take us to a cabin up there. And in the fall, you'd have leaves like this. You'd have a big body of water behind us, which I think was called Blue Lake. And you could get out on a canoe and just paddle across it, which I got in trouble for trying to paddle across it. There was a girls' camp on the other side, and they were playing volleyball. And I tried to canoe across the lake, and my dad screamed at me to get back there because, you know, I could tip over and drown. But it was what it was. Anyway, I hope you're enjoying the scenery. Mallard! Well, this is a fantastic view right here. Are there fish in this river? Some of you are asking. Of course there's fish in this river. In fact, there's a lot of trout dumped into this river upstream, way up in the mountains. Of course, you're in Arapahoe Bend Natural Area. You can fish here, but on weekends there's tons of rangers to make sure you're doing it right. I think I need that as a photo. What's bobbing in the water there? Maybe it's just a wooden branch. It is. It's just a wooden branch. The current is making it bob up and down. So there's also ponds here. Quite a few of them, fed by the Poudre River. I know I'm not telling you much about it, but there will be a part 2 to this when we talk about the haunting stories from here. As I was saying, there is a couple of ghost stories in this area. How true they are, I never know, but stories are stories and they're fun, aren't they? So, one of the stories involves one of these ponds behind me, at which I have kayaked, and being the technician that I am, I couldn't just fish and kayak. I had to have sonar and everything else, depth finding, all of that going on to see where the fish were at. And I caught a lot of carp. Anyway, these ponds behind me have a story to tell, and I will feature that when we come back after all the leaves have changed and the place looks a little more haunting. And we'll also talk about the rancher just up the road a piece and the hanging tree. So if you want to hear those stories, you have to subscribe to my channel, hopefully, so you'll get some notifications if you ring the bell, so you won't miss that one. In the meantime, I want to thank you for watching. This is just a shorty of one of the places I dearly enjoy. It's not even in the mountains. It's in the flatlands. I mean, y'all have flatlands, right? Anyway, thanks for watching.